evening again, collective, or morning. It's like 2:55 in the morning. It's honeybee tea time, right? Honeybee tea time. I have another video that I'm trying to upload, but lately the internet connection here at work has been extremely slow. We're talking like 3 gigabytes takes 5 hours, and that's if you don't get interrupted. And I was just uploading, and is it like 70%? Said it was like gonna take another hour. Come back. Oh, the connection reset. Starting over. Okay, whatever. So what's the point if a service can't provide its own service? That's another thing about this hotel. They have a phone, and people from the outside can call in to make a reservation. And people can call from the room, but you're not able to call out on the phone. The phone doesn't allow anybody to call out. They have a phone here for doing wake-up calls, but since everyone has a cell phone, they don't use it. The phone doesn't reach into the hotel but a couple feet, so you can't go into the hotel with the phone, and you can't call out. We don't do wake-up calls, and every room has an alarm clock that's not plugged in. Okay. It's like, if you're providing a service, don't you provide a service? Oh yeah, we just provide the square box that you stay in. There may or may not be a bed. That wasn't in the contract. You just needed a room. Do you need a room? Okay. Well, here's a 2x2 closet space. We're in Japan now. So for this second reading, I want to talk about something about this lock and key system that they got going on with trying to balance those where people woke up in their life. That some people never wake up. Some people stay sober their whole lives. Some people do drugs their whole lives. Some people wake up on drugs. Some people find themselves on drugs, but when they're sober, then they're useless. And some people are useless when they're on drugs, but when they're sober, then they're great. But then there's like this balancing act going on everywhere in the universe right now. Oh wait, the universe was always balanced. What the fuck? I think it's just people that are fucked up, right? And so I've noticed one thing that they placed upon me is this double lock system that I am trapped in. And I'm like encased in a chrysalis. Where, okay, well, if he doesn't do anything, if he's just gonna like, I don't know, be the average person and play video games but he's gonna be sober or whatever, then, well, we don't need him and we can proceed with our plans. And then it's like, God's not looking. Oh, but then say every time he gets high, we're gonna bend it. And so we're gonna make him look at himself and be like, oh, who's taking care of whose health? We're warning you. Who's warning who? About what? If you were gonna leave me for dead, if I just went on complacent. But then once I'm paying attention, whether I'm sober or not sober, then either way, it's gonna be holding it away from me. Like for instance, if I make a video, oh, see, he spoke up, and now we're gonna use that against him. Oh, he didn't speak up. Oh, now it'll be whatever we want it to be. Oh, look, he's high. Okay, but he's not paying attention to us. So we're gonna make it look like the world's on fire. Oh, look, now he's paying attention to us. Now we're gonna turn it and make it look like, oh, see? We're not gonna say what there's to see, but look. look. And then everybody can judge for themselves. Okay. Okay, now we're moving on. See, we don't need him. He doesn't exist. That's pretty fucked up. It's pretty fucked up. No, I just want to pull a couple cards on that. Here, let's do the same thing we did earlier. I'm gonna pull a couple oracle cards on one side, a couple of oracle cards on the other side. Pull from 3 cards for the body of the argument. Have 2 cards for each of the 2 minds. Sounds about right. Here, give me some jumpers. Just ask for it, it's not gonna happen. Well, first of all, I'm saying, in a way, yeah, who cares what anybody else thinks? We should have to stand on our honor all the time. You can go back to, like, if somebody was following me with a camera every minute of every day, we can go back to any moment and look at it on the camera, be like, so, you know, what do you think of this? Okay. And then there could be a conversation about it. But you go to any moment in the presidential race, and we can all talk about it, but it doesn't really relate to anything that has to do with anybody in particular. Even if it's about, okay, so then Trump's convictions. Well, everything is hidden behind lawyers and hidden behind what he said, she said, otherwise, and some of it's out in the open and some of it's not. And, oh, but if he cheated on his wife, but his wife's still with him. And there's there's all this confusion. It's black and white, isn't it? And so then who's really accountable? I know that I'm accountable. Whether or not somebody's like, oh, see, he went and got high. He had a cigarette. True, he did. What are you judging about it? Is it because of your own insecurity? And sure, it might be a point, but isn't life a give and take? And so we get the most through struggle, and when we're happy and content, we tend to usually give the least and have the least. But this is because we're just basking. And so balancing those two may seem challenging, but it's really just a state of being, of balance, that is in transition all the way through. Because, oh yeah, he had a cigarette 5 minutes ago. Who says it's not going to be his last cigarette? Who says it's the first? That was 5 minutes ago. Who the fuck cares now? And if they did care, they would have spoke up in the moment, and then it would have been put aside. Or it was held to the side anyway. It didn't have anything to do with you and I talking. So there's this funny thing about mudslinging and tearing each other down based upon arbitrary facts. Like I saw one nominee or pick for something say, oh yeah, I'd vote for so-and-so if he'd stop drinking. That sounds like somebody that I don't want to vote for. The guy that's talking. Because he's telling everyone that he's going to pick somebody or not pick somebody based upon what that guy does in his free time. Or when this guy, in his free time, he's thinking about the other candidates and what they're all doing right or wrong. It's funny on this spot talking about that conversation. Because that's really where we're all sitting at, is right here. So, that video of him saying, I'm not going to vote for that guy unless he quits. If he quits drinking, I'll vote for him. Well, okay, so he quits drinking. He gets that one guy's vote. Now what? What about everybody else? What about the guy who's making his own goddamn decisions? What about the time that he's not at work? Maybe he's never even came to work drunk in his entire life. So who's this one guy coming on the news and telling everybody, I'd vote for him if he quit drinking? It sounds like somebody that's drunk themselves. And trying to cover up the fact of how much they drink on their spare time. Like, it's really just kind of a silly conversation. Yeah. We're reminded that the magic is always comes from within you, and not really from anybody else. And you have to hold down your own spot. So if we're going to talk about other people, it might as well be pointing a finger at ourselves and illuminating something for everyone else, just like that example showed. And the enjoying the growth and reaping of rewards here is coming in reverse. It's the lady, but see, she's coming in. I see this. She's coming in as a man, because, for instance, like to a man, just a woman's body is bountiful, and just looking at it, he doesn't have to touch it. She can be clothed and everything, or just like seeing her. She could be in a park or whatever, and when love takes over you, you just seeing them, knowing their presence is around, you just feel excited, and so you can enjoy the growth of the relationship and reap the rewards. But being the man is kind of a little bit different, and that's the place that she has to hold on to, because, well, yeah, so she's walking around with a whole bunch of money hanging off of her clothes, and they're all stitched on with paper mache, and so everywhere a woman walks, then there's like money coming off of her clothes, and everyone can just be like, wow, and get enlightened and feel that feeling just in her presence. And so how does a woman manage that when everyone can profit off of her? How can she profit off of herself? And everyone who wants to sign her up wants to be like, yeah, but I'm the guy that did this. Even if I'm not sleeping with her, I'm sleeping with her. So in this other half aspect, it's more the strength side. We have Umoja, the goddess of all the flows, since all things are money. All things are of divine providence, depending on how they're looked at. I'm an ocean of creativity, and I give birth to what exists within me. And so then it's most important to cultivate one's own values and one's own aspects of beauty and vision upon the world, rather than how others see you. Which the presidential, I guess that ties back in the presidential race. It's all about trying to make it so that the other party looks bad. And even if they look good, you're the one that made them look good by pointing it out, how good they are at something. And then all people are like, yeah, they are good at that. Mm-hmm. I'm still voting for you. And then tearing people down, like, oh yeah, you see them skipping around like a bunch of pansies out there. The richest guy in the world, he's just skipping to my loo. What an idiot! Like, what kind of conversation is that? Is that like, are we like in like elementary school, and that is the presidential race? It's really just about talking shit about everybody and using everyone's benefits to the disadvantage. Like, well, they got money, so that's what this means. When you have unlimited money, money does not mean anything to you. And so using somebody's money against them is like, it does mean something, but it doesn't at the same time, because you're stuck with the limitation. You can have anything you want on earth, you can just go buy it. Anything, anywhere. If you can't buy it, you can find out who knows that person. And you could buy all the people around them, and you can make things go your own way. Okay, well, if everything's going your way, For one, that puts a big tug on the entire world in the spiritual, because nobody is allowed to have that much control. Not even God himself. We all got to share the shit. It's the same shit for everybody. That's how it goes, buddy. And so we got the Pope Joan of Arc, but as a pontiff. The pontiff of possibilities. The possibilities are limitless because the soul's limitless. So then why hold on to these limitations as our strengths? Like, well, you know, that's what their statistic says and my statistic, and so then this is how it's over and under, you know. And then the fifth card just fell out with the ones. She's back again, but as the fifth card, but this time she's inverted. And this is about holding ideals and the creativity far out ahead, to the point where, you know, in a sense, if we were always seeking God, if something at some point in our life, especially if when we're a child, something just made us feel it for a moment, like, oh my God must be real. Then even if you're drugged through the mud and whatever, and you're not sure about your faith in between, then most likely, then that means that you're going to wake up. And so that has to be kindled at the beginning. But then if that's what keeps coming back, then it shows something about manifestation and how holding on to something but keep letting it slipping brings it back to us. So all of a sudden it makes me think of DMX. I'm slipping, I'm falling, I can't get it out. Oh, God damn it. And my other phone dies, even though it was charged when I got to work. See, what the fuck? It was charged, even though I don't remember charging it, but it was off, so the alarm didn't work. Then I was uploading something, and now it just died on me. So it died in a matter of a couple hours. In like 5 hours. And I haven't been using it the whole time. And fucking 5 hours to upload one video on here. So you'll probably get this one and the other one first thing in the morning. See, no matter what I do, I'm limited. All these different forces to make sure that I'm just sitting here giving everything away. Whatever I have to give it away. And there's nobody I can really hook up with. And anybody I hook up with, they already know what I got to give. At the same time as they have their own ideas. And I have to pay them to hand over my entire entity and be like, okay, make me into what you want me to be. But, I can't do it myself either. Because, well, I'm suppressed. If 100 people watch one of my videos, it's not going to say I have 100 views. And many channels that have thousands of views or whatever, there's not actually 1,000 people seeing that video. There's an AI that's running the system. And the views are based upon something else. The whole system is manipulated. The matrix is to keep everyone going and confused at the same time. If every single one of us is equally valuable, or if there was one person more valuable than everyone else, then that's both creates a paradox of sorts. So since everything's all busted and I shit, let's pull 3 of these cards, see what she's got for us. There's 3 cards right there. Well, what I'm getting right now is how my position and maybe you, if you're watching this as well, is to give freely. To know that everyone needs your blade, my blade, in order to really go forward. Otherwise, they would already have their own caravan. And if their caravan is stopping in the desert to ask the drowning guy for water and then using it to fulfill their caravan to keep going, that shows a little bit of imbalance in the universe, don't you think? But just by the act of stopping one time already reveals the lack thereof and the need for integration around the collective. And so if I were you, I would just maintain doing what you're doing, being positive. Don't worry about the entities, the other channels, what's trying to control and manipulate, which every single commercial that comes up is meant to bend your consciousness. Every single one is meant to annoy you or to change your mind. And so, though, if anything, commercials are alien entities folding your mind and trying to take you away from yourself, which is weird because most people like TV running in the background as noise. So then in the background you have all these spirits, like a bunch of bats flapping around, and that makes everyone feel comfortable. Isn't that weird? Or like, I can only study as long as I have death metal on and my headphones as loud as possible. And I'm like, oh yeah, so X equals 34 and N is da, 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 da. Oh, this makes so much good sense now. You take the headphones off and, oh my God, I can't study. What's that letter? I think it's X. I just need that noise. I need that noise. Isn't that a weird experience I think everyone's had? And so you're the chariot. You're the fire. You're the flow in the river. You're the thing that's floating down the river. You're the current under it, and all the fishes in between or in it. The water will always swirl and move in a displacement around any body that is placed within it. I'll just leave you with that thought.